Quilts are flying, colors splash. Pins and patches, stories grow. Stitching secrets we all know. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses line so neat. Friendships quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses line so neat. Friendships quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Our
Stitch by stitch they weave the tale, a patchwork life where laughs prevail. Patterns clash, but who can tell? Quilted chaos suits us well. Stephen and Walter live on air, threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air, threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air, threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around.
because, okay, my mouth was moving there for a while. I know, and you couldn't hear us because I forgot to take the mute off again.
And I didn't notice.
Co-producer, supposed to tell me these things, didn't. So now you'll hear us. Okay, there you go. My mouth was moving there for a while. I know, and you couldn't hear us because I forgot to take the mute off again.
And I didn't notice.
So, there you are. Co-producer. So, okay. You should be hearing us now. Pretty much. Okay. So, like I was saying, when my lips were moving but nothing was coming out to your ears, that we went to Toronto on the weekend, and well, not actually the weekend, we went on Thursday, Friday night, and for Walter's birthday, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, and I'm sure some of you have already seen the video that I put up, which is 3/4 of the video, if not 7/8 of it, is about Little Canada, and we'll talk about that too. But we're going to talk about what?
Technically, my birthday's not till Tuesday.
That's right. So Walter's still not the same age as me until Tuesday. So yeah, but I thought I'd get it out of the way.
Well, it's either go to Toronto this past weekend, or next weekend. And I decided I would rather go before than after.
I gave him a choice. I said, when do you want to go? That's as far as I get to giving him, or I get a choice. Like tonight for dinner, he says, what do you want for dinner? I said, I don't know. What do you want? He goes,
Something with hamburger.
I could do something with hamburger. And I said, like, why? He says, well, I can do hamburgers, or I can do meatballs, or I can do hamburger log. That's meatloaf. That kind of stuff. And I said, well, what about meatballs in a sauce? No.
Well, unless you want spaghetti and meatballs.
No, I didn't want spaghetti meatballs. I was thinking maybe egg noodles, brown, that, but whatever. But we have decided on Salisbury steak, or what we call it, basically a hot hamburger kind of a thing. So that's what we're having. He seemed to light up on that, so good choice. Yeah, I don't have a choice. He just pretends. Oh, I'm choking up. Okay, I think I'll live. Anyways, yeah, so we've got lots of things to talk about. Let's start with what we've been working on. And when I say we, I mean me, because I don't think, I haven't said hello to people, though. I need to say hello to people. So, Russ is number one, as per usual. Says, we haven't frozen over down here yet. Well, I guess that's a good thing, because we are snowy now. I'm going to show you a picture in a second of that. Barb,
it's not too bad.
No, it's not.
We've had worse.
We've had a lot worse. This isn't too bad. I know for those of you in the southern United States, yeah, it would be bad. But for us, it's not too bad. So I said Barb is here, and Caroline is here, and Dubrovka is here from Timmins with L. They're all wishing Walter a happy birthday. And Nina is here as well. Faith is here. Hi, Faith. Charlotte is here. Sue Norfleet is here. Your dinner at the Keg looked really tasty. Yes, it was. It was very good. We enjoyed it immensely. And that place we were at is called the Keg Mansion. As you can see, it's in an old house, a big old house, and it's kind of a nice atmosphere. We had never been to that keg before. Most of the kegs are very modern looking now. In fact, a lot of the old kegs they tore down and they've rebuilt them or refurbished them to bring them up to 21st century speed, because the keg's been around a long time. Like,
I have a feeling if that place gets torn down, it won't be a
keg.
It won't be a keg or something, because everything they tear down in downtown Toronto becomes an 80-story tower.
Yeah, and that's prime real estate for condo development. So Inez is here. Hi, Inez. And Karen is here, and Diana. And Inez says, thank you so much for the video. I really enjoyed Little Canada. It's the fact, if you go to Canada, you have to go and see it. You really do. If you come up to Toronto.
Yeah, actually, it was really good. I wasn't sure what to expect, but actually, they really did a nice job.
Yeah, and they told us that they started this 15 years ago. I didn't realize that. I mean, the actual viewing it.
I don't know how long they've been. I don't think they've been doing it very long.
I don't think so,
No.
but it's been took them what we saw, and you saw in the video, has taken 15 years, and they have more plans for further development of. They've only touched on. I haven't even done the prairies yet. They've done a little bit out to Victoria and part of Vancouver, but they've done.
They
a little
haven't done
more.
Calgary yet.
No, they haven't done. Well, they haven't done Alberta.
Yeah, Alberta.
The mountains, really. They
Yeah.
haven't done. They've got that coming up. They had things on the walls displaying when they anticipate having those things done. It's going to take several years. I think the mountains and that they won't have done until about 2027. So yeah, they make everything by hand in there as well. So we'll talk more about that in a moment. I'm jumping ahead of us here. And it says Canada stops at the water's edge. Yeah, true. They do not show the United States. It's called Little Canada.
Well, they did show the American Falls, so.
Oh yeah, they had the American Falls on there. Yeah, such as it is. Anyways, Gloria is here. Mona is here. Glenna is here. Very cold, she says, and snowy, and O'Fallon. O'Fallon, Missouri.
I would think it's O'Fallon, but anyway.
I don't know. Well, maybe. Barb is here. Judy is here.
Or awful on.
Okay, these two are saying there's no sound. Well, maybe. Yeah, there's sound.
Maybe they're watching it from the beginning.
Oh, you may have started it at the very beginning, because at the very, very, very beginning, for the first 10, 20 seconds, there wasn't any sound because I forgot to press the mute button. Yeah, if you've come in, then you're seeing this in the past. You're not up to speed. You need to move your little bar right up to as far as it
Well, they
go.
won't hear that until they get there.
Well, probably. Yeah, whatever. Oops, popped up. Jeannie's here. Judy is here from snowy Hamilton. And Judy says, no choice here. You get salmon patties. Oh, okay. I'm glad I'm not there then, because I do not like salmon. It's fish. I do not like fish. Hi, Suzanne. Barb says,
Snowing
how
in
many?
Texas.
Where are you reading?
Weather red.
I'm not down there yet.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Jeez. Put everything out of line. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anybody. That's the whole point of saying hi. So everybody
Okay,
feels
fine.
special.
All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. Don't you tell me what to do. Okay, Barb wants to know how many candles on your cake this year, Walter. Well, you didn't get a cake because I didn't bake you one. Because I don't.
Too many.
68. He's 68 years old. We're the same age right at the moment. Karen's here from Vancouver, USA. Susan's here as well. And Judy says hello from very sunny southern Michigan. Grant's here. Weather reads says snowing in Texas. We're not going anywhere till Tuesday. Temperature 14 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow.
Oh. Oh.
We're minus 11 right now.
Burr. Yeah. Wild Rose Treasures is here. And Brock says your Toronto video was amazing. Dinner at the Keg looked tasty. What was the steak you guys had? We had the teriyaki sirloin.
8 ounce, yeah.
8 ounce. Yeah, that's what we had. Bonbon is here as well. So I think I've said hello to everybody. Maybe a few more joining us in. So anyways, yes, we had it. Okay, what are you doing now?
Okay, we're minus 11. That's 12 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, that's only 2 degrees colder than them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I take it back. It's cold for you.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that 14 Fahrenheit is below freezing.
Yeah, because 32 is freezing in Fahrenheit. See,
Yeah.
we're Celsius people now, you know. Actually, we're bilingual in those. We do both.
Well, I have
Fahrenheit
to
and-
look it up.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so we have to think about it now. Yeah. Anyways, moving along. What have you been working on? Well, what have you been working on, Walter?
not much.
Oh.
Probably shoveling most of the time.
Oh, well, speaking of shoveling then, let's take a look at what it's looking like earlier today outside our front door.
Probably still looks that way because
Yes, you
I
haven't
haven't shoveled yet.
Well, there's not, the snow is blowing more than it is falling at this
Yeah.
point in time. It's been a very fine snow. It's not big fluffy snowflakes, but it's not really been blizzard conditions either.
No, because if I look at the storm on the radar, we're just at the very top of the storm, and most of it seems to be going through the United States.
Yeah, so I don't know if I think I looked at the forecast for tomorrow, and I don't think there's any snow in the forecast for tomorrow.
I don't think so.
But then it changes moment for moment, so you know. Sherry's here. Hi, Sherry. So that's what it's looking like, or was looking like this morning outside our front door. Okay, so what I've been working on. Okay, you've all seen the Quilt of Valor by now, but I'm just showing it to you once again. I don't know if you've seen it. I can't remember when I show, because I often show the same quilt over all the videos during the week. Anyways, top is done, final border on, and I'm hoping tomorrow to get it on Lucy and get it quilted. I know what design I'm going to use, because on Quilt of Valor quilts I use always the same design, which is a maple leaves with swirls and things throughout it, which I think is appropriate for a Quilt of Valor, for Canadian Quilt of Valor. And then the next thing after that's all done and it's bound, then I'm going to start writing it up as a pattern. And we'll see from there. And my idea is, as I've already mentioned before, is I'm going to make a second one, but I'm going to do it in totally different colors, and it won't be a Quilt of Valor. I'll use a totally different panel because I'm writing the pattern for anybody who just wants a pattern that they can use with a panel. Because, you know, a lot of panel patterns that I have seen are pretty simplistic. You know, it's throw a few borders on it, which is fine if you want something quick or whatever. So yeah, I'm going to write this up as a pattern, and it'll take a while to do that. And I will eventually, if I don't give it to the Quilt of Valor people to sell in their shop for whatever reason, then I'm going to put it up on my Google Drive and I'll put a link to it, and it'll be free for everybody here. Or I may hang on to it until my retreat and offer it for those people as an exclusive for people who are signed up for the retreat. So I have 3 options. I haven't decided on any of them yet, because it's going to depend when I get the quilt pattern written. And quilt pattern writing is not easy. So, now I'm going to talk about this in a little bit more detail on Tuesday on the Idiot Quiller, so I'm not going to dwell on it for much now. But this is an In the Hoop project. It's called the Remembrance Day Quilt, and I'm a little upset with this. I wasn't when I first started it, and it has nothing to do with the way it's created or anything like that. Actually, stitching it out has been pretty good. There's a one more that's coming on there, but I will talk about this on the Idiot Quilter, because I find this particular pattern a little bit disturbing. That's all I'm going to say about it right now. Okay, oops, we'll come to that. Okay, so that's what I've been up to. Let's see, anybody else pop in while we're talking about it? I said hello to oh, Arta's here. Hello, Arta. Let's see. I should put it up so, because Walter will be bitching at me if he can't see the screen here, which you guys don't see what we're seeing, but there we go. So, just trying to catch up. Where's everybody? Okay, Sherry Cook is here. I said hello to Sherry. She says, happy birthday, Walter. Barb says the snow in Calgary is melting. We had a ton last week. Today is -3. Yeah. Here it's cold and snowy. There, where it's usually cold and snowy, it's the opposite. Oh well, you can't depend on the weather, can you? Weather Red says, here we are, not used to having this kind of weather. I stuck home alone and it's kind of nice. Well, you get caught up in your sewing or whatever else you like to do. San Diego, California, I don't imagine it's snowy there. Elizabeth is here. Thank you, Bonbon. Inez says, big snow, little snow. If the flakes are big, we have less. If they're small, we have lots. And well, where Inez lives, which is Newfoundland, they're no strangers to snow. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Weather. Thank you, Inez. Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Wild Rose. Yes, Bon. Those figures are. It's totally embroidered with the exception of the background colors you see. That's fabric. Yeah.
What else would it be?
Dirty old snot rags. I don't know. Another use for them. Rachel's here. Hi, Rachel. And
Thanks for the birthday wishes, everybody.
yes, and there's another one from Pace. Says also happy birthday. Okay, so that's what I've been working on. So Walter's been working on nothing except cleaning the driveway, lots, and sewing with me on Wednesdays as usual. Links in the show notes. Okay, pop-up sew day next Saturday, January the 31st, last day of January, next week. I open the doors, virtual doors, at 8, and we'll run until 4 p.m. Eastern time, my time. Come and go as you please. Work on whatever you want to work on. It's a day for you to just sew, and we laugh and talk about all kinds of things. And when I say we talk about all kinds of things, we talk about all kinds of things, except it's a drama-free zone. So we try to keep whatever we're talking about far away from what's happening in the world. Unlike what's going to happen when we're talking here today. Spoiler alert. Okay. So that's next Saturday, and the link is in the show notes below when this goes up for re-record it and or rebroadcast, and it'll be in my vlog and on the Idiot Quilter and so Chatty next week. It'll be there for you as well. Now, let's talk about the retreat. Now, it's a ways away, but some updates for this. First of all, I have established a date for the retreat, the spring retreat. It will be Saturday, the April the 18th. So you can put that on your calendar. Registration, of course, won't open until 2 weeks before, and I believe the date for that's April the 5th. There'll be lots of announcements about that and everything when we get closer, once we get into April. I'll be putting up a video about everything, the ins and outs of how you register and that. It is a free event for anybody that has never been to one of my retreats before. I am very happy to say that I have confirmed my 3 presenters already, and I'm going to talk about those in a minute. But what I'm going to talk about now are the people. You gave me a whole list of different people to reach out to, and I reached out to a lot of them and heard from most of them not a word, nothing. So one person I reached out to was Rose City Originals. Chris, he must be really tied up, and he could be. These people may be very busy because several of them do operate businesses. Chris from Rose City Originals is an ambassador for AccuQuilt. He was one of the first people I reached out to because I have interviewed him in the past, and I thought, with the AccuQuilt and the whole bit, because, he's an expert, I thought that would be really interesting, but he's never sent me back a reply one way or the other. So I can only assume that either he didn't get the email, it's a possibility, or he's just so busy or tied up he missed it or whatever. Doesn't mean that I have excluded him from asking him again. Maybe in the fall I can get him. We'll see. I asked April of April's Craft Room. I'm sure many of you are familiar with her, and many of these came from you as suggestions. Didn't hear a word one way or the other. Tracy Mooney, same, didn't hear a word or another. Tiffany's Quilting Life, heard nothing. Barry's Quilts, heard nothing. Parks Crafty Creations, heard nothing. I did send a request to Stitched by Susan. Someone recommended. I did hear back. Unfortunately, she's not available, and I saw her schedule. And yeah, she's doing in-person presentations and classes for the whole year of 2026. She is booked well in advance. So yeah, I didn't expect that. But it was really nice of her, her assistant, because she has an assistant, I guess. When you're that good, you can have an assistant. Look what I get. Oh, well, it's free. Sent me a very nice email saying, unfortunately she would not be because of her schedule. And okay, so that was nice of her to send me back a reply. Felon, I asked, So Be It Quilts. Felon I have interviewed before, her and her husband both. My idea was actually to have both of her and her husband, if they were both available, on. But Felon sent me a very nice email. She was a little kind of not upset, but she kind of like, she really wanted to do it, but she's moving. She's putting her house up for sale in February, and they're moving out of Texas. That's where their home is, and I'm not sure where they're moving to. So she said she didn't really want to try and commit to something because she didn't know what the timeline would be like with putting her house up for sale, which is very reasonable. I definitely understand that, so no problem. She did say, though, she'd be interested maybe in the fall. So I might be able to get Felon for the fall. I think she'd be an excellent addition to the retreat. Now, who did I get for it? Well, someone recommended, and I watch her videos all the time too, so I knew who she was, but I thought she's not going to say yes because she's a very, very busy person. You can tell just by her videos, and she owns a quilt store as well. So, I mean, yeah. But I sent her out the request on day one. I got a reply and an acceptance same day. And she says she'd be happy to do it. And this is the opinionated quilter, Maureen O'Connor. If you're not familiar with her, just look her up on YouTube, the opinionated quilter. I love her because she's very, very practical about how you go about doing your quilting. She's all about getting the job done, but doing it right, but doing it efficiently. And she has an opinion. And that's what I find really refreshing about her. She doesn't sugarcoat a lot of the techniques that are out there that, you know, people use to sell products, or they're just dumb. And she shows you the best way to do it. And yeah, she knows what she's doing. She's definitely an experienced quilter. So I'm really happy that she's coming. I think her topic is about utilizing your scraps as well, and how to produce less scraps, because as I said, she's all about efficiency in your workflow. So that I think is going to be really interesting. So I'm really happy to have her. I also have, now this one was unusual. This is somebody I did not know, but subscribes to the channel, and she reached out to me. And her name is Ruth Roberts, and she's a clinical psychologist. And she's going to talk about the brain and creativity. And of course, you know, related to what we do as quilters and sewists as well. So I thought this is something really different than what I've had before. So I said, yes, by all means, that'll be great. But she did say that we have to remind people she's not there to deal with personal issues. Okay, she is not going to psychoanalyze anybody on there. If you want her to work with you on something like that, she has office hours and a payment schedule for it as well. So I thought this was really kind of cool, that something a little different, and I think it's going to be very, very interesting. So that was really nice of her to reach out to me for that. And the third person I have is somebody that everybody knows, but I have to have him. And I've had him a couple of times before, and that's John from Art East. And I've asked John to give us an update on what's coming up, what he has planned, all those things. And we know that it's going to be exciting. And John has offered some prizes as well for giveaways on that. So yeah, I have to have John. And plus he's Canadian. So all about Canadian people as well. So that'll be great. So those are my three presenters. As I said, those other people I didn't hear back from, some of them I will be trying to connect with come for the fall retreat as well. They could have at least sent me a little note saying, I'm sorry, I'm not available. That's all I asked. Don't leave me hanging, you know, kind of a thing. But I guess their lives are busier than mine. So, you know, who knows? Who knows? Maybe some of them were vacationing. I don't know. Gone off to warmer climates or something. I don't know. Anyway, so that's what's coming up on that. And as I said, it's April the 18th. So pencil that into your calendars. And as we get into beginning of April and so, there'll be a whole slew of information about how you register and everything about that. So let's see. Do we have anybody come in that I've missed? Yes. Pat is here.
Mm-hmm.
and she's giving you hugs.
Thank you.
Rachel is here. I tried my first ever quilt block yesterday. A pinwheel. Disaster. I couldn't get the middle points to join clearly. Seam Ripper, my best friend. I will keep trying. Actually, Rachel, don't feel discouraged. The first ones I ever did that had points in them, I lost my points as well. I since then have learned the tricks on how to get the points. Maybe I should do a tutorial at some point, maybe on So Chatty, and show you how I do it, how I get my points to come out. But you know, it's practice. You'll get it. Don't get discouraged. And once you do get it, you're going to be very proud of yourself. Yeah. Yeah, and as says, it gets easier, and it does. Diana from Texas says the low temps and beautiful snow is not the issue. It is the 20,000 people who with no electricity due to the storm. Looking forward to for future retreat. Ah, okay. Guess you guys, yeah, I guess when you guys get storms down there, you get bad ones. And that can happen. Well, hopefully you'll get power soon. Russ says, I'm really loving sarcasm. These new side-by-side ads. I still see your lips move, but obviously can't hear you. Huh?
I don't know. I think he's getting an ad that somehow pops up next to us talking.
Oh, well, that's weird. Well, I don't know why we're getting those. I don't know how that works. No, but of course, we don't see any ads on the monitor because we pay for YouTube now. And when I say we, I mean Walter. So, yeah. Sorry about that, but you know, well, you know, Russ, we can't do anything about it. It's YouTube works on it. Grammar Rosemary says, and welcome. The opinionated quilter is very good. Been watching her for years. Yes, she is. Anne is here from Bonnie, Scotland. Wow. You guys got any snow in Scotland? Karen says, ooh, psychologist. That's going to be very interesting. Yeah, I think so, Karen. Something a little different. And that says she is good. I've done one of her scrap quilts, opinionated quilt. Yeah, she loves to do scrap quilts all the time. Yes, John is always a good presenter. And people are looking forward to the presentations. Great lineup. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good set of presenters. Rachel says, oh, please do. I was so frustrated. Well, think about it, Rachel. Oh, Joan is here from Eugene, Oregon. And yeah, Barb, the pinwheel isn't the easiest to sew. Good job attempting to tame it, though. Yep, it'll come with practice. Quilt World says, the ads are another new thing. I saw something when I was heading live today and think I had disabled it for that, but who knows? Nobody commented to me. YouTube and their money grabbing. Yep. Yeah, we have no control over it. That's the problem. Yeah, but Rachel, don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah, I think it takes a while.
It takes a while. I mean, my first quilts that had points in them, I was just accepting it, going, well, it doesn't matter, but it bothered me. And just one day it clicked. I don't know. I probably watched a bunch of YouTube videos on it and figured it out from there.
Yeah, I did quilt a while back, and my points disappeared. They weren't lining up. And it wasn't until I was actually doing it that I began to realize why it was doing that.
Yeah, it has a lot to do with how you're stitching. The your 1/4-inch seam allowance and stuff. But there is a little trick that you can learn, but I can't explain it. I need to show it. So I will put that in my head. Maybe I'll do it on the Idiot Quilter. Maybe I'll do it on So Chatty. Maybe have Walter watch too and give his 2 cents worth, because he will. And you all
I don't really know what I'm doing anyway.
No, but that won't stop you. No, that won't stop you. Okay, moving on. So Chatty, speaking of which, we did the whole myth or fact of the Underground Railway and quilts. And I think next week we'll be doing, that was a suggestion that came from a subscriber. Thank you. Keep those suggestions coming in, people. I'm really starting to depend on those a great deal because my brain is tired trying to come up with new things. So when you give me suggestions, it gets my creative juices flowing and away I go. So next week, from a suggestion, someone wanted to know me to do, or for us to do a thing on PDF patterns versus printed patterns. And at first I thought, well, you know, you either like one or you like the other kind of deal. But I found a lot of information that actually, this is a little bit more, not complex, but a little bit more of a detailed discussion than I thought it would be. So this is what I mean. If you send any suggestions, I look into it a little further, and it's amazing what I can find for that kind of thing. Let's see. Okay, I was just making sure caught up. All right. So moving on to something a little bit more serious here. All right. I've got down here, are we not entitled to our opinion? The reason I bring this question up is I had this comment, which I still don't completely understand, and I'm not going to identify the comment writer because of that. But this is what they wrote. She made a suggestion for a topic for the So Chatty, and the topic was to find the top 5 or 10 YouTube videos that deal with quilting or sewing in the world, like find out, you know, ones that have massive, like millions of views, and to look at them and rate them. Like discuss what's good about them or why they might be top ones or whatever. And I thought, yeah, that's an idea. Could do that. But she said, then she wrote this: do not grade, as grades should not be placed on assumptions, which you always make a handful of. We are capable of forming our own opinions. Okay, I wasn't really sure how I was supposed to take that comment. And I've looked at it a little bit, and it seemed a little nasty. It says, do not grade, as grades should not be placed on assumptions. I don't grade anything except on the Idiot Quilter. I give a grade, like a number rating out of 10 on the online quilt stores that I review. Now, I didn't used to do that. I didn't give any kind of grading system on it. Then I had several viewers suggest that they would find that helpful if I did out of 10. So I do that now. And it should not be placed on assumptions. I'm not making any assumptions when I do those. I totally, and I've said this many times, I totally base my opinion on what's in front of me. I don't know anything about the people who run the store. In most cases, I have never dealt with the store, so it's sort of my first impressions based on various factors, like how easy is it to, how user-friendly is their website? What's their prices? What's their selection? Do they have a lot of broken links or not? Do they offer a wide variety of quilting or sewing
Is it
things?
easy to find stuff?
Is it easy to find stuff? This is what I base my criterion on. What do they, how do they do? Do they tell you up front what it's going to cost you for, you know, to buy their stuff, like the shipping and that kind of thing? That's what I make. I don't make assumptions. I base it on what's in front of me, and I treat it as if I'm first-time consumer. I don't, and that's how I rate them. I try not to say anything really derogatory or nasty. But at the same time, I'm trying to be honest in my review. But I always say I'm looking at it from me, my point of view. Your point of view may vary, as it's going to, and that is perfectly all right. Okay, so when she said that, not be placed on assumptions, which you always make a handful of. No, I don't. She's suggesting that I make up information and I'm lying. That's the way I took it. That's hurtful. And then she says, we are capable of forming our own opinions. Well, if you're capable of forming your own opinion, why can't I form my own opinion? It's okay for everybody else, but not for us. So that's the way I took it. So I wrote back to her and I said, you're entitled to your opinion, as I am entitled to mine. Well, then she wrote back to me and sort of apologized. She said, oh, she says, I shouldn't have written that. I was having a really bad day and I think I was taking it out on you. So I wrote back to her, says, well, that happens. That's called redirected aggression. So I understand. It was nice of her to qualify and everything. But I do get nasty comments from individuals every now and then. And because my opinion may not work with their opinion, well, that's going to be life, isn't it? We're all entitled to our own opinions. And anything that I say on my channel, or we say on this channel, yeah, they're based on our experiences, but they are based on our opinion. Because what is your opinion based on? It's based upon your experiences. And your experiences may differ from ours. So get over yourself. I mean, if you absolutely hate what I have to say, well, you know the answer to that, don't you? Because I've mentioned it many times before. But I thought I'd bring that up. Okay, so enough of that. But speaking of opinions and discussions and things like that, let's move into Trump land for a moment. Spoiler alert. Yes, I'm going to talk a little bit, not a whole lot, only a few seconds. But I told you a week or so ago that, yeah, just because some people don't like me to talk about it isn't going to stop me. You're in control of yourself. So you know what you can do. Have a nice day. I hope you stay warm. Okay, so let's just talk here, or review how Trump Peter Buttigieg, that's who I'm trying to get to, Pete Buttigieg. He is a very popular, is he a congressman? I guess he's a congressman. I don't think he's a senator with the whole thing. A lot of people, especially those in the LGBT community in the States, wanted him to run for president. And, well, he did. But he didn't get selected. He's a Democrat and everything like that. But beyond the fact that he's a member of our tribe, so to speak, he's a very intelligent man and a very reasonable man. And he has a lot of common sense. So he just put up a video, a short one, the other day, called "We Do Not Have to Accept This." And basically he was kind of dovetailing on what I said about burying our head in the sand when it comes to the news. It's a good short video. I have put a link to it in the show notes below. I strongly urge you to watch it because he makes a lot of sense. So that's one thing I wanted to bring up there about him. Now, I just got this afternoon, one of my subscribers sent me a copy of a letter, an email that was written out to this person's mailing list. The person's called Haley, and I can't remember what her last name is, but she has a YouTube channel. It's about quilting. It's a very popular YouTube channel. I never heard of it before, but I've put a link to that YouTube channel below so you can check her out. But she wrote this letter to her followers, and I thought it was excellent because she lives in Minnesota, and she's in amongst this whole thing with ICE. And so I thought we'd just spend a minute and just make you aware of it. She says, "Hi, I'm interrupting my scheduled emails this weekend with something that is obviously on my mind. I'm writing this off the cuff and don't exactly know what I want to say. I just know that I need to say something. I live in Minnesota. I live 10 miles from where Renee Good was killed 2 weeks ago and 5 miles from where Alex Pretty was killed yesterday morning. If you're following the news in the U.S. and MN, you know the ICE launched Operation Metro Surge in the Twin Cities area for a few weeks ago. Since then, life here has been absolute chaos. You can read the news, watch the videos, and find the details for yourself online. I will just share what it has been like for me personally. Keep in mind, my family and I are all white U.S. citizens. When I go grocery shopping, I see armed masked men at our shopping center. They stage their operations in the parking lot. The usual customer service workers in the drive-through drive-throughs have been replaced with white presenting people. I haven't seen my usual baristas or cashiers in weeks. My lifelong friend worked with Alex Pretty. Is it Pretty? I think it's Pretty.
Yeah.
Our favorite restaurant have their doors locked. They let customers in one at a time to prevent ice from coming in. Moms in my local mom group are afraid to drive their kids to daycare, fearing they'll be stopped by ICE just because of how they look. I am assuming what she means is people who are not white presenting. My college friend is driving donated food and diapers to people who are afraid to leave their home. The daycare that my neighbor sends her kids to is no longer allowed to have outdoor recess or field trips. The schools have implemented online learning as an option for families who are not comfortable sending their kids to school. Every time I see a blacked out SUV, hear a whistle, or hear a honk, I'm on high alert. I know where to report ICE sightings and check in regularly to see if they are in my neighborhood again. I don't drive with my kids in the car anymore for fear we'll turn down a street and accidentally come upon an ICE operation. Helicopters circle above our home. We have a plan to evacuate should it escalate to the point that our home and neighborhood are no longer safe. All of these things are trivial compared to our neighbors who are being wrongfully detained or injured, who are afraid to leave their homes or unable to work because their employers have temporarily closed their doors. Legal U.S. residents, might I add. You can see the horrors with your own eyes. There are countless videos and reports of just simply cruel actions by ICE in our community. There's no other way to say it. It's unjust, unlawful, and cruel. This has gone far beyond an immigration enforcement operation. I don't have the answers. As a work-from-home mom, I can't even physically help or be as active in this fight as I'd like to be. I've been checking in on neighbors and donating money, and it never feels like enough. One thing I haven't done yet is shared this information with you. I have an audience of over 40,000 plus people here on my email list. I do feel like it's my responsibility to say something, to share what it's like being an average Minnesotan at the moment. Many of you might not even know what is going on. You may not live in the U.S., or you may not get the news from people who are actually living this reality. If you want to get info directly from the people on the ground, right now I suggest NPR News or the Star Tribune. If you want to help Minnesotans, there's a great need. Stand with Minnesota is an excellent resource and has links to dozens of ways to help. A few places that are near and dear to me personally are the Diaper Fund, diaper and formula assistance to families. Safe Haven, they help people who have been released from ICE detention centers, often with no phone, ID, or even coats. It's way below freezing right now in Minnesota. And Second Harvest Heartland, Minnesota's largest regional hub food bank. I guess I'm just writing this to let you know what's going on, to let you know that my family is safe, and to let you know that I acknowledge the absolute nightmare that's going on in our community. Well, I think she has summarized it very, very well. I mean, first of all, it sounds like Nazi Germany. The ICE are Gestapo. And there's no other way to look at them than that. They're hired thugs. But they're hired thugs with guns, and they're not afraid to use them, and they do. And it seems like they have, obviously, they're targeting people who, as she mentioned, that don't present white. So there's racism in there as well. She's talking about the fear. Living in a city that's besieged by these hired thugs. They're afraid to send their kids to school. They're afraid to go grocery shopping. They lock themselves away in their home, and they're afraid that if ICE is anywhere near in their neighborhood, they could have their door bashed down and be taken off to detention. And treated like worse than criminals. Really. I mean, at least a criminal, when they're picked up by the police, have a right to certain dignities. These people are not. They're being treated worse than second-class citizens. This, I think what she's trying to show is get your heads out of the sand, like I have said before. This is the reality, and we feel so bad for everyone, for the average citizen living in the United States right now under this. And what can you do? Well, you can do what she's doing. You have a network. We all have networks of friends, family, the whole bit. Make them aware. Make them aware in a calm way of what is going on. Now, you can say, but they already know. But it doesn't hurt to reinforce what they know or fill in the gaps of that which they don't know. So I say, bully for this lady, Haley. She is using her platform to expose the injustices that are occurring right now to the average American citizen. Where it's going to go from here, nobody knows. But she's doing something. And I think that's what's important. We in Canada are doing something too. We don't have to worry about ICE at the moment. But we still have concerns and worries. It's not all pleasant here. So that's why we're going to have a new segment each week on here. That's a short one, and it's called Meanwhile in Canada. Now, before we get into that, I think there's probably been some comments here that we should acknowledge. So let's see. Oh, Bonnie's here. Hi, Bonnie. And so is East Coast Kim, and so is Ivy.
I think you're where it was before,
right here.
Because East Coast Kim said cold in Nova Scotia, waiting for the storm.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, here, Ivy was saying, what about creating a rubric to make an evaluation? Reminds me of days of being a teacher. These videos are apparently so popular. Yeah, I don't need to make a rubric. I do. I have a rubric, I guess you could say, because I look at the same things every week on them. So I guess that's my rubric. Let's see. I'm going to say you have a look at the drunken Irish bard doing song skits about Trump amused me. Yeah, there's lots of those on there. If you want something that is at least gives you a moment of humor about it. That's right. He was Secretary of Transportation for Biden. Let's just see here. Hi, Denise. Hi, Carol. Pete no longer holds a public office. His last position was Secretary of Transportation. He's brilliant, and I think he would make a wonderful Secretary of State or President. Yeah, my opinion on the outside looking in, I would say the same thing. Yeah, that Barb, and that's why she wrote what she did, because she knows that the news does not show you the whole story. They pick the most sensational or most extreme thing to show you. And there's a lot more there that needs to be seen. We do see some of what is going on with ICE. It's beyond scary. I was appalled at a piece on the news last week, 6 people dragging one person. Yeah, it is. It is right out of the history books. We went back in time to Nazi Germany in the 30s. Yeah, see, Kim says, I had no idea it was this bad. This has opened my eyes. Thank you. Yes, exactly. Now that's the point. That's why she wrote this letter. And she's looking at it from her point of view as someone living there. So, yeah, I think that's why it's important. You got to get this information out there. It's really easy for us to close our eyes to these atrocities that are happening. Or, well, it's not me, thank God, kind of a thing. Well, no, goes back to that poem, first they came for them, then they came for me. So kind of a thing, I paraphrase. So yeah. So meanwhile in Canada, the orange pumpkin has raised his ugly head again. And because he is pissed off with our prime minister, once again, our prime minister, if you don't know, gave a brilliant speech at the Davos, which I'm not sure what that stands for.
It's a World Economic Forum or conference or whatever.
It's a biggie. In his speech, he basically talked about the fact that we can't rely upon nostalgia and we're never going to go back to the old ways. We have a new world order now, and that new world order is to not give in to the superpowers, but to rise up from the middle powers. Like Canada is a middle power. Basically, he was making in a very not so subtle but clever way, without actually saying it, he was basically talking about Trump. Okay? I think most people with half a brain got that. Well, speaking of half brains or no brain, Trump decided he didn't like it. He says, oh, Mark calls our prime minister by his first name. Disrespectful. He is the prime minister of our country. He should be addressed as the prime minister Carney, not Mark. And you'll never hear Mark Carney, our prime minister, refer to Trump as Donald. He says the president. He's always very respectful. He's a man with a lot of class and a lot of brains. And he said that Trump said, Carney's just being nasty and the whole bit. Well, we're going to be nasty again. First of all, then he called him the governor of Canada, going back to the 51st state again. And he said, well, since you're going to be nasty, we're going to put 100% tariffs on everything from Canada. Yeah, well, we know Trump has threatened these things before. Oh, and he's also said, if you make a deal with China. Now, Trump has it in his mind that it's going to be a free trade deal. It is not. We don't have a free trade deal with China, and we probably never will. It's removing the tariffs that we already had on things for the Chinese and the Chinese had on us and putting them back to what the tariffs were before, because there's always been tariffs on Canadian goods and Chinese goods for our country, their country.
And we still trade with China, and so
Yeah.
does America. America trades with China as well. So
where do you think a lot of the stuff on Amazon comes from? That kind of thing. Where do you think Target gets most of their stuff? Walmart.
But they're not going to come and take us over.
No.
Nobody is.
No, that's the other thing. He says, they're going to take us over. Well, wait. Isn't that what he wants to do?
Yeah.
Take us over? Yeah. No, I don't think so. So, really, the only people, the 100% tariffs, which it will not happen, because Trump says one thing one day, changes his mind the next. He changes his mind more often than the average person changes their underwear. So, I mean, yeah, we're not worried about it in Canada. And as the other thing Trump's mad about is that Carney will not lower himself to Trump's level and throw, it's not tit for tat. What Carney did say was, because Trump turned around and said, well, the only reason Canada exists is because of the United States. No, Carney says Canada exists because we're Canadians. And we exist because of our own accomplishments or things like that. Of course, I'm paraphrasing him. But yeah, no. Americans have never had anything to do with who we are or what we are as a country at all. But Trump seems to think that. But then, of course, Trump takes credit for everything, doesn't he? Also, he's cut Kerry off. He's taken back his invitation for Kerry to join his little private boys club. What they call that the Peace Board?
World Peace Board
or whatever like that. You too can be a member for just one small payment of $1 billion. Yeah.
Where is that $1 billion
going? Right into Trump's pocket. Oh, look who Trump has already signed up for it. He showed them all. Most of them are thugs of the air, but they're very rich thugs. They've got a lot of money for this kind of thing. The major nations in the world, the sensible ones, did not join. France isn't there. Norway isn't there. Germany isn't there. England isn't there. You can name a few others that aren't there as well. All the countries that count when it comes to the big issues.
Board of
Peace. Yeah. So he's pissed off that so like as if like a bully. You're not going to be part of our club if you don't do what I want you to do. Boo-hoo.
Well, I have a feeling Carney wasn't going to
join it anyways. No way. that board goes again. Carney said when you have a plan and you state where the money's going to go and how you're going to help out Gaza the proper way and all that, and then we can talk. Because what Carney knows is he doesn't have a plan. The only plan he has is to suck these other billionaires in to give him money that he can put in his own pocket. Yeah, just another
and maybe get a
thing.
Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah. Now he's got his he's so pissed off at that. Just it's ludicrous. You know, if it wasn't for the fact that he is dangerous, it would be extremely laughable. And by now, people would have walked into the White House with the little white jackets and taken him away. Ho, ho, hee, hee. You know, kind of a thing. But no. So,
anyway.
Yeah. But so meanwhile, in Canada, we're not. No. Now, of course, he's going to set his sights again on us because he didn't get Greenland. Well, he's not done with that yet either. He thinks he's getting everything that he wanted, but he's not. So, yeah. So that was meanwhile in Canada, we still hang on and prosper. We're not worried about him. Oh, yeah, and the other thing that's just come up too is one of his cronies in his inner circle in Washington is already talking about the fact that Alberta wants to separate. And somebody said, as if you can take a strip off the map and repaste it onto the United States. The Albertans do not want to leave Canada. No, 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 no. So that's not going to happen. No, we're not worried about that. So let's see what are people saying here. Karen says, yes, that was a brilliant speech. He is the perfect man for the times. I would agree with you 100%, Karen. I think he's great. And I just hope that he's continues to be who he is, because he is one smart man.
Yeah, and I hope he stays in.
Yeah. Like, we've got that other asshole on the conservative side, Polyev, and he doesn't have a clue. He'd wreck our country if he was in. He keeps trying, though. Well, maybe he won't be the leader after March when they have their thing, but I think he will be. Because, I mean, you can... in the terms of the Conservative Party, they just replace one a-hole with another a-hole. So, because they're full of them. Yeah, Inez says she's surprised Trump can remember Carney's name. Yeah, I couldn't remember the name of Greenland, kept calling it Iceland. He probably doesn't even know there is a place called Iceland. He probably thinks that's where all of his ice people go when they're off duty. For the peace. Trump is like the bully on the playground, and us that childish too. U.S. that childish too. I'm not sure what that part means. I think we had a little slippy on the. Oh, here it is. Is that childish too? And that is childish too. Okay, got it now. Exactly. Yes, he is a bully. And when they say board of peace here, some always sing, "I'm going to bop with you, baby, all night long." Board of peace. Okay. I get it now. Short forms, not my forte. Okay, let's leave that then, and let's go on to nicer topics, shall we? So, let's talk about our experience in Toronto this weekend. We haven't been to downtown Toronto and stayed overnight for a while. We used to do this way back in the decade ago or so.
Well, we used to go to the bars.
Yes, we used to go to the bars. But we're too old for the bars now. I'm asleep by the time they get started. So, yeah. Nothing sadder than an old queen passed out at the bar because he needs his nappy time. But whatever. So, let's start with how we got in there, okay? You know, I have bitched about the transportation system in this country, especially in Toronto, for many years. But it's been a while since we've actually taken it. And it has improved, I have to say. We took what's called the GO train in from Oshawa, where we live, right to Union Station, which is basically downtown Toronto. And it's very efficient and not that expensive. What did it cost us? We got seniors tickets.
We pay half price because we're seniors.
Advantages to being old.
Yeah, return ticket was $24, I think. $24 and change. I can't remember.
For two of us,
For
right?
to us, yeah, a return ticket.
Yeah, return ticket for total for
Yeah.
the two of us, not each. So that's pretty damn good. It takes about an hour to get to.
Because it stops all over the place.
Yeah, there are express trains too, but at the time we went, we had the milk run, so it makes about 6 stops before you get to Union Station. But still, it was very pleasant, and we went on Thursday afternoon, so it was not busy because the commuters aren't going in at that time into Toronto. And we lucked out. It was kind of nip and tuck whether we were going to find a parking spot in their lot.
Yeah, the one problem with taking the GO train is the lots are huge. Like I think in Oshawa there's 1,500 spaces, but
They're filled.
It was filled, and we did find a spot though.
Of course, Mr. Leadfoot, we're going down the thing, and I'm going, wait, there's a hole. Go, 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 go in there. So we got in the hole, and we were fine. So we got into Toronto, into Union Station, and then you have a choice. There is a system in Toronto called the PATH system, which is basically underground. It's underground all the major business buildings, and it'll grind its way up right up to what's called the Eaton Centre, and a little bit beyond that, actually, we found out. So where we were staying was basically only a couple of blocks from the Eaton Centre. So we could have done that to stay out of the cold, or take the subway.
Well, we had our bags with us, and
Yeah.
so we just sort of thought, well, we'll just take the subway.
So we took the subway. Subway was pretty good. They have finally gotten the hang of modern technology, because like people who commute on a regular basis and take the subway every day, they buy Presto cards, a card that they top up every month, and they get a discount and that kind of thing. But for those of us that don't live there and we wouldn't be using it that much, it doesn't really, there's no incentive for us to buy one of those cards because they're usually for a month or so. But it's easy. You just tap on with your phone.
Yeah, well, we have Apple Pay, or you could have Android Pay, and you can tap on with your phone, or if you have a credit card that has the tap on it, you can just tap with your credit card too.
Yeah.
And it will, I don't think it works with debit cards, but you have to have it has to be a credit card. And you just tap on, and but you don't have to tap off again.
No, that confused us.
Yeah.
Because we thought you had to tap off, because the reason for that is it knows then how far you've gone on the system. And so, if it's a short distance, it costs less than a longer distance. At least that's how we thought it worked. And it was funny when we first were trying to tap off and going, well, where do we do it?
I mean, it used to be that way when we went last time, that you had to tap off, but now I guess they've changed it that you don't have to tap off. So it's a flat fee that you're paying, which is about $3.30.
Yeah, something. Yeah,
One way,
$3.30. But anyways, there was a young lady standing on the other side of the exit style, and she could see that we're trying to figure out. She says, no, you just go through. And she smiled. I said, okay. And we were a little iffy about that because we kind of thought,
how much are we going to pay?
yeah. But then I looked it up, and it said, yeah, in the subway line in the center of the city down there, you don't have, it's a flat rate. So you don't have to tap off. Well, that makes life really easy because, you're always behind somebody whose their equipment's not working properly or whatever, and it backs up the line, especially
Yeah, and
busy times.
if you need to transfer to a streetcar or something like that, you can do that within the hour that you've tapped on.
Yeah. So 2 hours.
2 hours.
It's
Okay.
2 hours they give you. So really good system with that. So I was impressed by that. And the subway, there wasn't any problem. We got up to our hotel, and the hotel, Walter already
I
pre-checked in, so it didn't take any time. And you saw what the room in the hotel looks like. It's a Holiday Inn. It's the rooms aren't big.
I mean, the big complaint of that Holiday Inn is that the rooms are small, and they've always been small. It used to be a Days Inn.
Yeah.
And the rooms have always been small, but we like booking it there because it's centrally located. And when I looked around online, it was one of the cheapest options.
Yeah. So that was fine, and it's centrally located to where we want it to go.
Yeah.
And close to the subway line as well. So
it was a couple of blocks away from the keg, and so that worked out well for us.
So we made our way down to the Eaton Centre, and in the video I had a little bit about it. there. But here's a picture. The Eaton Center has been there. We're trying to figure out when it was built. I think it's been there about 50.
It's been there since the 70s.
Yeah,
Because
so-
when it was there when I started working in Toronto in 1978. But it was fairly new then.
So it's been there at least 50 years. And they keep doing things to it over time. But it's definitely a tourist destination. It's just stores. Most of them are sort of high-end dish types of stores and things like that. So
Yeah, the first phase opened in 1977.
okay,
That's right. I
so
remember when I first started working in Toronto, part of it wasn't finished.
49 years.
Yeah.
It's been there 49 years. So it doesn't look like it's been there 49 years. They've kept it up really nice. But anyways, and we always, when you go to Toronto, if you've never been to Toronto or whatever, you need to go to the Eaton Center. Just, it's a destination point. Of course, we had an early dinner that night. That was the first night we were there at a bar we've been to many, many times in the past. Where I've been there in quite a few years now. It's a gay bar, but times have changed in there.
Had a very mixed crowd.
A very mixed crowd, and that's what's killing the gay district. This is right on where we were about 2 blocks away from what's considered the village, the gay village. And this is where there are, restaurants that are gay friendly. There's bars, clubs, that kind of thing. There's not that many bars anymore, really.
No, and most of them are mixed.
Yep. So, it's become gentrified.
Yeah.
As so many things do. And the breeders come in and spoil everything. Yeah. And on the video, you will see what I mean, because I kind of captured, you see this one guy sitting here. Well, there was a whole bunch of runners came in. And
Towards the end of when we were there.
And then there was a table off to, we were on a lower level. There's an upper level sort of a thing. And there was a table of 3 women and a gay guy. I think one of the women might have been trans. I'm not really sure. Oh, were they loud? Were they loud? So I think they were half plastered too, because they were there when we came in, and I think they were there when we left.
Yeah, because when we came in, it was happy hour. We didn't realize
we didn't realize that. So we got beer for half price, which was okay.
And then it turned out when the beer went to regular price that the glasses got bigger.
So in this picture, Walter's at the end of that, and he's got the bigger glass, the regular size glass. So, but it's okay. We had nachos, big plated nachos. I think I had that in the video. Okay, so the main attraction, though, we have never been there, as we said. So we went to Little Canada, and it's not particularly cheap. It's not that bad. What was it for 2 of us? $72?
Yeah, I think it was 30,
We had a seniors discount.
34 or something like that.
Yeah. If you buy the tickets online, it's slightly cheaper.
Yeah.
But we didn't, because, okay, their online was very confusing about their hours. We thought they opened at 10 in the morning, and we were down there at about 10. And then we checked it online, and it said, no, it didn't open until 1 p.m. on Thursday or Friday. That was Friday. Yeah, Friday. Well, what the heck was this? But
when we went there, so we decided to not buy the tickets online and just go there. And we went there, and they said they were there, and I said, "Are you open?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "Well, your online says it's not open till 1." Well, apparently they leave the early morning or most of their daytime or their mornings anyway for school trips.
Yeah. And there was school trip, a couple of them coming in supposedly at that time. But she said, but if you don't mind, a group coming in, and she says, yeah, you can come in. Well, they hadn't arrived yet, and I overheard, I think, one of the supervisors or a teacher saying to the people that run the place, the bus is running late. It's about 40 minutes late. And I thought, ooh, good. So we basically had, and even when the kids got there, they weren't a problem. They weren't real little. They looked like they were high school kids that were in there, and they had some kind of assignment, I guess, probably for a history class or something, to fill out. But they were fine. There wasn't any problem with them, and there was lots of room in there. with it. So it was easy to get around, and that's why you've got a lot of video of it.
And plus, it was also good that I think because we were going on during the day, during the week. If we had gone on a weekend, I'm sure it would have been busier.
Oh, yeah, it would have been busier on the weekend, sure. But, you know, if you're going to Toronto, this is a must-do. You won't be disappointed. And it's kind of neat because it's not just about Toronto. This parts I'm showing you right now are Toronto in miniature, but it's the whole of Canada. Well, there's certain areas that are lacking. This is all Toronto too. They haven't really got anything much about the prairies and the Rockies yet. They do have some Vancouver and Victoria. They have a little bit with Newfoundland and the East Coast, but they're constantly adding to it. And they make everything there in shop, where they order it from artisans in Europe. I thought everything might be, no, go back, might have been 3D printed. Only about 30% of their stuff is 3D printed. The rest of it is all kind of handmade. And in the video, you will see they had you could see the makers area. And I was talking to the two of the ladies that were there to answer questions and things. And they are real artists because they're working in, like, they're miniature artists. And it was really kind of cool. You could get, and I showed that in the video too, they have this big booth that will scan you. You can stand inside of it, and it does a full body 360-degree scan of you and produces a file that they can send off and have a miniature little figure of you made. And you can buy these. I think the smallest ones were about $40, and you can get bigger ones too. But I asked them, can you get the STL file? The STL file is what most 3D prints are made in, and that's what your printer can read. Because I was thinking, I'll pay the money to get scanned. If I can get the STL, I'll just take it home and print it. She said, no, they don't do that. They get shipped off to some company that prints them out for them, this kind of thing. So I thought, okay, well, I didn't really need another miniature of myself. Like, I could order it, but
and you could get bigger ones too.
Yeah.
But as the ones that got bigger, the price went
was
up
more
to
expensive.
like $150.
yeah,
or
or
something.
something,
So,
depending on
which
how.
I thought, I don't know, I don't need that.
Yeah, but the whole place is just fascinating, and you can spend quite a long time because not only is it about different places, but if you look, the way they've set up certain things, there's pieces that move in there, and there's hidden little gems like kangaroos boxing. I didn't know there were kangaroos in the Okanagan Valley. Like, well, they're not native, of course, to Canada, but Okanagan Valley is out in BC, which is a wine district, and there's a place there that has these kangaroos and wallabies and things like that, and they have kangaroo matching with the red kangaroo boxing.
And the places on the streets are very detailed to exactly what is existing there. They do squish things together, because I just noticed in this thing, which I didn't notice when we were there, that they have the Sankofa Square there, and then they have the art gallery over there.
Yeah, those two are not that close together.
No,
but I suppose they have to do. They have to
squish them
compact
up.
it.
Yeah.
So, in fact, I don't know how much of this is to scale. They must have a scale, because you've got City Hall in behind over there, and Old City Hall, and those look pretty much in the art gallery, that weird looking rectangular box with all the little squares and on it. That's the art gallery. That I explained that, and you see it in more detail in the video if you haven't seen the video already. But it's really worth the money and the effort to go and see it. I would go back again. And they're constantly adding to it, and it's taken them 15 years to make what you see there already. So, geez.
And they have several rooms.
Yeah.
Like they have Ontario, Toronto, and then they have Greater
Quebec,
Ontario, and they have Quebec,
East
and
Coast,
they have the East Coast,
the
and
West Coast, none of it.
Yeah, in
Yukon.
Ottawa.
Yeah.
And
all around. Yeah, it's a great way to, and everything has market. You can see the little signs in this picture too. So, it's a great way to see Canada.
And they have the Arctic.
Yes, they have the Arctic. And there's a lot. And they have Santa Claus. They have the North Pole, and they have Santa Claus's village and everything there too. Santa Claus is Canadian. Yeah. But anyway, so that was good. And so then we went to the AGO. The AGO is the Art Gallery of Ontario. This is the outside. I didn't take any pictures inside. I could have. You're allowed to take pictures or video. But by the time we were in there, well, one, we want to get in out of the cold. And I have to be in the mood to go to an art gallery sometimes. Like, I like them, but I wasn't really in the mood, but it was something to do, and we hadn't been there for a while. They've got a good collection of Group of Seven painters, which is, foremost Canadian artists from the early part of the 20th century in Canada. They have Rembrandts in there. They have Dutch masters in there. They have a wide variety. It's not just Canadian art. And they have special displays as well. We were very civilized. We went into the little cafe and had a cappuccino while we were there too. And yeah, it was nice to go in. It's very relaxing. If you love art galleries, it's a very nice art gallery as well. And now that one, it's not free. What
that was $30 each to get in.
Yeah.
And they didn't have a senior's discount.
No, that annoyed me.
But of course, probably everybody that goes in there is a senior.
Yeah, they lose money on
young
that.
people don't want to go in.
But and for what was it, $10 more, we could have got a year's pass.
Yeah.
Well,
wow. I doubt I'll make it back there again in a year.
I like art, but I'm not that much into the art. Then we made our way down to the distillery district. The distillery district, as I explained on the video, is Gooderham's, which was a whiskey.
Gooderham and Morts.
Yeah, which were back in the late 1800s into the early part of the 20th century, were distillers of whiskey. And over time, I don't know if Gooderham's even exists anymore or not.
Yeah, I think they still make, they make Crown Royal and stuff like
do they?
that. But I think they sold off the business to another distiller. I'm not sure.
But anyways, they basically abandoned all of their buildings down in here.
Yeah.
And for years, they were just left with nothing in them,
yeah.
empty and falling into disrepair. Well, then the city of Toronto, I guess, or whoever, decided to rejuvenate it, and they restored a lot of the buildings, and now there's restaurants, and it's basically, if you're into artistic kind of endeavors, creations, there's a lot of artisans.
Artisans
as well.
Little art galleries that sell art and things like that. And they also have, at Christmas time, they have a Christmas market there.
Yeah. Which is kind of expensive,
the
stuff. But they have a lot of, and they run special events there all year round, like wine things and everything like that. It's another spot in Toronto to check out. And another one, I don't think I have a picture of it. No. Oh yeah, we went there to the Mill Street Brew Pub that's there for lunch, and the menu didn't really thrill us at first. The selections were kind of limited. Like they had pizza, they had burgers.
They had a steak sandwich, but it was made with pork.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out why they called it. I should have asked. Yeah. Why do you call this a steak sandwich when it's made with pulled pork or slivered pork or something they had on it? Anyways, Walter decided that we should get a pizza and a kale salad and split the two between us. And that was a good idea because both were pretty big. And so, yeah, that's what we did. And actually, the salad was good.
Yeah, it was a mix of lettuce and kale. And it was done as a Caesar salad. So,
And the pizza was good, too. Now, the selection of pizzas was not
great.
No, if I'm going to have a pizza, I want a pizza that has tomato sauce on it. Not pesto, not
a white
sauce, like a bechamel or something like that. I want that. Well, they didn't have a lot to choose from. So we could get a vegetarian that was that way, or we could get the meat lovers, the carnivore lovers.
Well, which basically didn't have really any more meat on it than a pepperoni one, but it was it had a selection of meats.
Yeah, it had pepperoni and
bacon and sausage and
that kind of thing. Actually, it was very good though. It was very tasty.
Good, yeah.
Crust was really nice on it. It was a thin crust.
And it was a
but
good size, but I think
Yeah.
it would have been too much for one
for one person. Yeah.
But then it was good to have like half a pizza plus salad, right? So
Yeah. So it was turned out to be a decent lunch. Price wise, yeah, about average you'd expect. I think
Yeah.
it cost us with tip $80, 80 some
Something like
dollars,
that.
something like that. Or maybe it was more. It might have been 110 for that one. I think $80 was what we had at O'Grady's.
No, I think that 110 was at O'Grady's. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then they had tips. That was 130.
yeah,
Whoa, we had nachos and beer.
yeah.
Whoa, that was a pricey. Well, we had a lot of beer. And we weren't driving. So, we could stumble back. We were only 2 blocks away from the hotel with that one. Don't judge. Okay, so then, of course, the climax, if you wish, is Walter's birthday dinner at the Keg, in the Keg Mansion. And showed more of that, of course, in the video. But here we are enjoying their escargot. I was surprised that Walter had it because he always puts up this stink. Well, if I have escargot, I'll be too full. I don't want to get the Keg Classic, which comes with a salad, because I won't be able to eat that. And he whines and he whines and he whines about this, that, and well, that's got a lot of calories. Blah, blah, blah. Well, I said, well, hell with you. It's your birthday. I'm having the escargot because I love their escargot. Their escargot is done in mushroom caps, but it's the sauce. The sauce is phenomenal. I love it. It is a garlic sauce, but it's mixed with other
It almost
herbs and
has like
spices.
it's a slight curry base.
There's a slight curry base to it.
It's not, if somebody didn't tell you that it was curry, you probably wouldn't realize that it was.
No. So, yeah, so that was good. And we still ended up getting a salad, but Walter had a brilliant idea. Like, I never think of these things. I never think of getting something and sharing it. I guess it comes from the fact that I'm always afraid they're going to make me charge me extra if I split it or something. I don't know, because I'm a cheap bugger.
But their salads are really big.
Yeah.
Right? They're a huge plateful. And I said, why don't we just split a Caesar salad?
Yeah, we did that. And actually, we told them we were going to share a Caesar salad. They split it for us. We didn't ask them. They came that way. The service at the Kegs is always very, very good. Almost borderline annoying at times because, how's that first bite? And they're very attentive. And
But I think they want to get you in and out as soon as
yeah,
you
they do. And they're not getting us in and out because we have a plan. And I discussed the plan with the waitress. Anyways, I said, okay, we're going to have a cocktail first. We don't usually get a cocktail, but special occasion. So we had a cocktail and said, and then once we've had our cocktail or that, then we'll think about an appetizer. And then so what we do is we order in stages. So we got our Keg Caesars. It's not Caesar salad. It's the drink
a
Caesar.
drink. It's like a Bloody Mary.
Well, I think most of them now know
Yeah.
that. It's not unusual now. Like, the States, they can get them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like a Bloody Mary, except it's made with Clamato juice,
Yeah.
which used to be something you could only get in Canada, but now they've got it in the States too. So we had that, and I did show that on the video, and it came with a bean and a piece of celery. I really like the bean. I want to get a jar of those beans. I think they're good. Means we'll have to drink more Caesars. No, you can have them with other things. They're pickled.
Yeah.
Anyways, we had that, and then we got our appetizer. Then we put in, then we ordered the salad, but we said we didn't want our order to be put in until we had finished the salad. Because what happens at the Keg is they have team serving. And so, suddenly one thing, bang, there's the next thing, bang, bang. You can be done in 20 minutes.
Yeah, like you can still be eating your salad and then all of a sudden your steak comes out.
Mm-hmm. And if you're dropping $200 to $300 on a meal, it's an event. I don't want to be rushed. But she was very good with the timing and everything like that. No problems there. So yeah, it was nice. Now, because it was his birthday, and she knew it was his birthday, and I said, how'd you know it was your birthday?
Because I put it on the reservation.
Which is unusual because if you tell them it's your birthday at the Keg, they give you a free slice of what they call Jack Miner pie.
Billy Miner pie.
Billy Miner, whatever. It's an ice cream cake.
Yeah.
And it's extremely sweet. Like, oh my God, you can't eat it on your own. You've got to share it.
And it's a mocha flavor, which you're not.
Which
crazy
I'm not
about.
fond of mocha, a flavor in that. But anyways, we didn't have it because Walter didn't want it. So we didn't have it. And it's just as well. His birthday, his cake, he doesn't want it.
Yeah, by that time I was really full. So
Yeah, well, I was too. So anyways, we had a nice meal there. I have no complaints about it whatsoever. Service was nice. The atmosphere was nice. There were a couple of hookers at one table. Yeah, they were dressed just a little. Okay, sweetie. It's -20 out. What's this with the backless top and with no middle in it? And the short little skirt where, you know, you needed to be really careful when you sat down because I'm sure this is not a Taco Bell. We do not need to see the gordita. Okay? But whatever. With it. There was a table of 3 gay guys. You could tell they were all drinking martinis and enjoying them a great deal. So I said to him, "Oh my God." Yeah, okay, whatever. But yeah, it was a nice meal. And so then we trundled back to the hotel and had some more wine, watched TV.
you fell asleep.
I fell asleep, which is not unusual. I wasn't sleeping. I was resting my eyes. Yeah. So it was good. So yeah, we had a good time with it. We weren't on anybody's timetable, anything. We didn't have to be anywhere. And that's the best way to go. Because if we'd had theater tickets, for example, because Walter did look into that. But
yeah, I did look into theater tickets, but it seemed like all the plays or whatever was starting or in. There wasn't much.
We're starting in when? February?
Well, yeah, there wasn't much playing in January. It seemed like everything was starting in February, so but there wasn't really much to choose from. So,
no. And if we'd had theater tickets, then you've got another schedule. You know, you have to decide: are you going to eat before the theater, and so then you're rushing through to make sure you're not late to the show, or are you get the right page up here, or you know, are you going to eat after the theater, and then that makes it really late in the whole bit. It's just nice to be on your own schedule when you do things. We're more like that now on a lot of things we do. So it was good. If you haven't seen the video, I had to make it as a separate video because it was too long to just put it in as a part of So Chatty or this or whatever. So if you're interested, you can check that out. It's up already for that. So let's see. Let's back it up here before we leave. Russ says, did you get scanned to have your own avatar in Little Canada? And we already said that, I guess. After that, nope, we didn't. It's Kelowna, Kangaroo Creek Farm. Oh, okay.
Okay.
The reason I said it was Okanaga is because the sign that was in front of it said Okanaga, but there probably was fine print that said that this particular little place was where you said in Kelowna. Yeah.
Because everything was sort of squished together.
Yeah.
So.
Cynthia's here. Hi, Cynthia. Snowing storm in New York and Long Island. All schools closed. The kids will be happy. And Russ says, I've asked how you can have a chicken cheesesteak when a chicken isn't steak. Yeah, well, I've always wondered about these chicken fried steaks. Like,
I think it's breaded.
Yeah. Okay. So I've never understood that either. Betty Kennedy says, sorry I'm late. Happy birthday, Walter. I will have to watch the rerun. Was cutting out at Quilt Square and forgot to turn on. Well, I hope we turned you on. Thimble says, I'm late too. Been listening in the kitchen, making brunch. Happy belated birthday, Walter. And Rachel says, they should have allowed you to swap out the cake for a cocktail. Yeah, they don't do that.
No.
Well, she did say, we said, no, we're going to pass on the, what's it called? Billy Miner pie. But she says, well, is there anything else that I could get you? Well, I don't know if she meant, could I get you something else for free? Or I think it was just...
I didn't...
We didn't
At
want
that point,
anything.
I didn't feel like any dessert because we had eaten so much that I was pretty full. So
Funny thing too that we didn't do on this trip. We often when we used to go into Toronto and we were staying overnight or for a couple nights, we would go to a grocery store close by or whatever, and we'd pick up snacks, and we'd get a lot of stuff you shouldn't eat, like, and just stuff our faces with that and that. This time we picked up a thing of sliced cheese because we didn't have a knife. Well, we did have a knife. I had it in my emergency kit in there, but we didn't. We just figured it was easier. A bag of nachos, whole grain, and a jar of salsa. Guess what we came home with?
a bag of chips.
Sliced cheese, a bag of nacho
But
chips.
we did buy
and salsa.
a couple of desserts the night
Oh
before.
yeah. Oh, this shocked me. We were in the Loblaws. It's on the video, and they have a pastry counter. And Walter says he feels like something sweet when we came out of O'Grady's. He never says that. I'm the one. I like it. And he goes, well,
I've had it after my blood tests.
uh-huh. And then he usually says to me, well, if you want it, which means, okay, that time I go, no, I don't need it. I'm not having it. Fine. Killjoy. So we got some tiramisu and a slice of cheesecake.
Yeah.
Then we had a problem. Well, we got a couple of forks there, like wooden ones, those disposable things, but
We didn't have plates.
we didn't have plates. So Walter's ripping up the carrier where we got the beer in, but we managed to, we used the plastic tray they put the thing into, whatever. And then we went to the Dollarama the next day and picked up some cheapo paper plates, brought those home too, because we never used them.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
well.
So actually that was just as well, because I don't know, I didn't really feel the need that I needed to eat any of
because
that
we
stuff.
ate enough other food that we just didn't feel munchy.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, that's what we did there. And what's it? Russ says chicken fried is a style of frying a steak, which is weird but so good. I prefer chicken fried chicken. Yeah, I've never had chicken fried steak. Should try it someday.
I think I had it a long time ago.
Oh yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
It's not something we get here.
No,
So-
you can't get that here.
No. Oh, and it says, did they sing to you, Walter? No, they did not.
No, they did not.
And that was a good thing because he would have killed.
I don't like that.
No, I don't like it either. I'd actually at the keg they don't do that.
I don't think they do that.
Because there was a table that were celebrating a birthday over there, and they got the pie, but it was the people at the table sort of sung a half-ass version of "Happy Birthday" to the person.
Yeah.
But the help did not come out and do that. Oh, that annoys
I hate
me.
that.
Oh, kill me now. Like my idea of a birthday from hell is take me to Chuck E. Cheese's or something and have them sing "Happy Birthday" to me. No, not happening. But anyways, yeah, so we had a good time, and yeah, things are back to normal again. Boohoo. Okay, so that's it for us today. Thanks for joining us. Do check out the video. And yeah, what's this? Scott says, I give you an A+ on your impersonation on the table of the three guys near you at the cake. Well, yeah, well, they were just fun. They all had their ruby slippers all lined up underneath. They all had fallen out of their mouths, but hoping, whatever. Okay, so everybody, have a great week. And remember, Pop-Up Soda Day next Saturday. Links will be in this one tonight, but they'll also be in the link for everything next week. And yeah, so thanks for joining us.
Yeah, but the cube steaks that they said, what we were talking about is chicken fried steak, where they bread the cube steaks.
Yeah, they bread the cube steaks or do something
And deep
horrible
fry it.
with them, or fry it up. I don't know if they're deep fried or
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they are.
Yeah.
Whatever. Not doing it.
No.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Have a good
Yeah.
one.